Hello.
Hello!
We have completely forgotten how we started this podcast, how we
We're so out of
introduce.
practice.
Yes. I think we usually say we're freelance and friends.
Anna.
I'm Maria. Woo! We
There
made
we
it. We
are.
made it. Yeah,
We made
great.
it.
So yeah, as you guys know, it's been a while, and it's just been a bit busy. We're gonna update you
Talk
a bit
about
on
it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's actually kind of good to be back. We both feel like it's really good to be back. So,
Yes. Yeah.
how are you, Anna? How are you doing?
I'm good. Well, now I'm doing good because I was on the verge of burnout for like the last couple of
Mm,
weeks, maybe even like a month. It's hard to know like when it started, but now I'm good. Yeah.
I'm
Only
glad.
thing is, I have like a sore neck. So now when I'm turning, I'm like a robot. It's like
Oh.
it's so stiff because I did a workshop with like floor work for pole
Mm,
fitness, and
mm.
it's so much on the neck. So I was just like rolling on my neck the entire time,
Oh
and then
yeah.
I was just going in for like a simple spin, and then something just like really. It felt like it popped in my neck.
That
Yeah.
sounds like it hurts.
Yeah, I did.
Definitely.
It does, but it's fine. It's fine.
But did you feel scared when you felt the snap?
No, well, I thought like, oh, okay, I'm going to feel this tomorrow. And the
Mm,
same, I told my boyfriend like, ooh, I feel like something snapped in my neck, and he was like, yeah, you're gonna feel that because he's
mm.
dealt with that a bunch of times since he
Oh.
boulders a lot and he's been bouldering for 10 years, so it's been like it was like a muscle.
Oh yeah, like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
more like
that's
that.
happened to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
When I'm climbing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've felt
Yeah.
that. Mm, yeah, but you have had like a very busy summer. I think last time we
Yeah.
talked, you said that I think that was all of June we talked
Mm.
about. It's been really busy and the good
Yeah.
sales in the shop. But then it
Yeah,
just kept
yeah.
going, I guess.
It kept going, and August got even better than June. So it just, yeah, 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 yeah. It felt amazing, and even though like, like my excitement for the first couple of months was huge. I was so excited to just like experience the season in my own shop. In August, I was so sick of people.
Oh yeah,
It
I can
was
imagine.
that kind of like I know I am so lucky. I feel like I know I'm very fortunate to do what I'm doing. But every time someone walked through the door, I felt like kind of like, oh no, no.
I can relate in the sense of we used to work in a cafe and
Mm,
restaurant, and yeah, just sometimes you're just so tired and you see customers walk through the door and you're just like, no.
no. Our friend Marnie, she works at a restaurant slash bar as well. And she also has the same kind of mentality that whenever people walk through the door, she just like, there is that like this energy, she said, that she like emits that is just like, no, stop. And she told me actually yesterday that it was like close to midnight, 20 people walked in and she just looked at them, and then they just like rearranged some chairs and then they left because they probably just told her like, no, 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 not now.
That's so funny. I can imagine. I
Yeah,
know. I can imagine her face like that.
that's the thing. She has a good face for that.
Yeah.
But it really
Yeah.
is tiring, like to go through a whole like tourist season as well. Because I
Mm-hmm.
talked to a bunch of the other artists at Bryggen. Um, since we sell our art, we also kind of sell a little piece of ourselves every time we sell a piece of art. So at the
Yeah.
end of the summer, we're kind of just like we're all out. We're just like an empty shell in a way. Even though
Yeah.
it sounds so sad, even though it is like a super nice experience, it
Hmm.
is that, yeah, it's really difficult sometimes.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah.
We actually had like some of the same conversations this week because we had the like opening week at
Yeah.
it's like an art center that I have been part of creating in an old mountain hotel, for those that like don't know the story behind it. And it's 2 years now where we've been like, no one is paid to do this project, but we've all been working towards like filling all of the old hotel rooms with artists, and that people have like a studio in the old hotel rooms. And now we also have a gallery, and we wanted to have like a big celebration, kind of like a big opening event, and it turned into a whole week of like open studios. So all the artists had like their studios open, and there was like concerts, and there was like events, and I had like a plant workshop. There was like a lot of things. But I exhibited a video in one of the rooms. And Bendik has like he rents a studio in the old meeting hall in the hotel, and he had like a very different experience from me because he met people every day that came by to
Mm.
look at his studio and his art, and he felt like he had to like always be in this room and talk with the people, and he felt like it was super fun and people were so kind and saying so many nice things. But like at the end of the day, he was so much more tired than me,
Mm.
because I was just like, I didn't have to be in the room with the video because I just like put it on and then people could go in there. I just walked around and I talked with the people in the studios. Like all of them are my friends, and I was hanging out
Yeah.
in the cafe, drinking coffee, making cappuccinos, and like just having fun, and just going into the gallery, looking a bit at the art, and then talking with somebody in the hallway. And like, if anyone liked my video, they usually just found me and just came over to talk to me.
Mm.
But I think Bendik had a very different experience because he kind of felt like, yeah, he was always selling something or like always kind of giving a piece of himself. Yeah, it's kind of the same where with you're like always talking about your art, and it's just so nice that people are excited about it. But you
Mm.
can also get a bit drained from just constantly being like super happy and super excited and super
Yeah. You
enthusiastic.
sort of become like a part of the artwork or the gallery as well. So you
Yeah.
have to be like on your best behavior all the time. Neither me nor Bendik is like mean people,
No, of
but we
course
can
not.
be tired and we can be quiet and we can be like less animated and
Mm,
happy and interested.
yeah.
But there's less room for that when
Yeah.
you are the face of your art in a way. Like I can't I think it must have been like over 2,000 times over the summer that I've had to answer what medium I use or
Yeah.
if I am the artist.
Yeah.
And it's of course that it's a question that people ask because they wonder, are you the artist? You're in the gallery, are you the artist? And I say yes. It's not a big answer. I can say yes, I am. That's it.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
when you hear it for the like it's been so many times and it's not their fault, it's all on me because
Yeah.
I'm tired and I'm like, yes, yes, the fuck I am.
Yeah.
I'm in the shop, okay, yes, it's me.
Yeah, yeah,
And the same with like, what kind of medium do I use? It's like, it's such a normal question. I ask everyone the same when I see their art and I wonder like, what do you use? And it's not a mean-spirited question. It's such a normal question and I don't judge anyone for asking it. But it is that when I feel it in my mouth saying, yeah, it's watercolor with a little bit of gouache, sometimes just get like, blah, blah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's happened, like, this is like the millionth time my mouth has said this, and I want to say
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah, I feel it was the same when I was working in the cafe, but also especially when I was working in the flower shop around
Yeah.
Christmas. And you
Mm.
just really feel like you've said, is this flower bouquet gonna get in water within an hour? You've said it like 200 times every
Yeah.
day. My brain was just like fried eventually.
Yeah.
Like,
I was just about to
yeah,
say the same thing. It's like that. You feel like a robot. You feel like you don't really feel it anymore. And that's
yeah,
what also made me a little bit sad towards the end of the tourist season because it is that kind of thing that I would have been so excited to answer this question early on in summer. And now it's just like,
Exactly.
bleh. Bleh. It
Yeah,
doesn't mean anything anymore because I've said it so many times.
and it's also very different when you work with your own art, of course, because then you really want to feel it. But if you're selling
Yeah.
flowers, it's okay. If you're just
Yeah.
working for somebody else, like it's okay if you're a robot for a day.
Yeah.
But it's like that authenticity kind of. You want to be authentic in your like.
Exactly. Which brings us to the theme of this episode.
Yeah, it's a
Nice
good segue.
segue.
Oh
Good
wow,
segue.
we're getting better at this.
Yeah. So today's theme
Yeah.
is authenticity.
Yeah, because we had a question from, I think it was Allison. Let me
Mm.
check. Yeah, Allison,
Woohoo.
who listens to our podcast. And she was
Thank
asking a
you,
bit about that.
Alison.
Yeah, thank you, Allison. And thank you for all your nice comments as well.
Mm.
We had a question about if we think that it's like possible in a way to purely focus on authenticity and try to make art that is just for you. Tosek, hører du nå denne gressklipperen?
No.
So my neighbor is mowing the lawn, if you guys are hearing like, like a very
It's always
disturbing sound.
something, right?
There's always something. Like we live in a
Yeah.
normal place. There's
Yeah.
not like soundproof walls. But yeah, the question is basically if we value authenticity more than sales, and if it's possible to like only focus on authenticity.
Mm.
Do you
Yeah.
focus on your audience or do you focus on authenticity or?
I mean, okay, so I believe you can be authentic to your work and still make a living. I think for some people that probably is what will make them successful and make them like a popular name in a way. But I know that I stepped into like the what is popular kind of realm at one point.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of illustrators, they have this, like early on, they usually have this fan art period where they do a
Yeah.
lot of fan art because in that way people can see their style, but they can also get likes because it is a popular character of popular like a franchise, you know?
Yeah.
So back like I think maybe like the second year of running the shop with the two other girls, I made an illustration of Totoro from Studio Ghibli holding an umbrella in Bergen, in front of Bergen, like
Yeah, it's a beautiful
where the
one.
shop is. And it is like I didn't think when I made it that this is going to be like a bestseller. I didn't have that in mind when I created it. I just wanted it to be like a cute thing because I really love Totoro. I think Briggen is a cool motif in a way, a cool background. And it felt like it fit because the shop was a Briggen, so it felt like, oh, I could just merge these two things, these two like things that I have in my life. And it did sell really well because it was Totoro. So people that know Totoro, they're like, oh my gosh, it's Totoro in Bergen. Of course, I need to bring this home.
Yeah.
And I remember I had a conversation with one of the girls in the shop about this, where she felt like that it lacked integrity in a way, or that fan art was a very difficult subject in the shop where we were trying to like figure out where the boundaries were with the fan art, because it needs to be authentic fan art for it to feel like it has integrity.
Yeah.
You can't just like copy paste
Yeah.
a character, you know? And after that, it's been a while since I did fan art. Now, Totoro on Briggen is not my bestseller. It is it is more of my original artworks, which feels
What is your bestseller
amazing.
now?
I think maybe it's the whales.
Oh yeah.
So I have this whale pyramid
Yeah, the
of
three
all the whales.
ones.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
interesting. That's
That
cool.
either that one or the moose. The one I call the moose taxi, which is just like a big moose with a lot of animals on top of it.
Yeah. Oh, that one
Yeah.
is so beautiful.
Thank you.
It's nice.
But
Hmm.
it is so nice to see that my original work is taking over for the fan art,
Yeah.
because for the longest time I felt a little bit iffy about having too much fan art. I wanted it to be fan art and like my own work, because it felt like I don't want to be a fan art artist.
But if you're an authentic fan of the thing, then at least that helps, I think.
Absolutely. And I feel like I would never do fan art of something that I don't personally love,
Yeah.
because then it would be fake. That's when it would be for views and likes and money or whatever. Then it has a, like, yeah,
Mm.
it's not from your heart in a way.
But did you feel like you kind of you made like a change to try and move away from what didn't feel as authentic anymore
Mm,
and like move towards something authentic?
yeah.
Or did it just happen because the sales changed or
I think I wanted to take myself a little bit more seriously, or I wanted
mm,
to. It was that kind of integrity thing that
mm,
I didn't want my confidence to lean on someone else's work,
yeah,
because doing fan art, it is like someone has already done half the work for you.
there's a character
There's
already
a
created.
character, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not
Mm,
doing 100% yourself. It is already something that exists, and you're just adding on top of it.
yeah.
And for me, leaning on that too much, it felt like it hurt my confidence,
Mm,
in a way that I couldn't do it myself. Um,
yeah.
and even though I still love fan art, and I have some sketches like laying around that I want to finish
Mm,
from like the Zelda game and stuff like that. Um, but it feels good that it's not what I usually do anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to, I think, to do
No,
well anymore
no.
at least.
And I think I still do like folklore, but that's not for the tourists. That's for
Yeah.
me in a way, because
Yeah.
I've always loved folklore. So even though I do like Norwegian folklore and other countries' folklore as well, it still
Mm,
is that kind of it helps that I'm in a tourist, like a touristy spot, because
yeah.
tourists are a little bit interested in Norwegian folklore and Norse mythology. But it's just like a stroke of luck that those two intertwine, that I really love that stuff, and tourists also love that
Yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. Do you think that maybe sometimes in the beginning of like a career, it's easier to lose track of authenticity in a
Yes.
way
Yeah.
because you're so new to everything and I don't know,
You
like
lack
it's just
confidence
so
in the
vulnerable.
beginning. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
vulnerable, and you're not quite sure where you are, who you are as an artist or as a creative person. And that's when
Yeah.
it's the most common to copy others, because you
Yeah,
need to copy others to find your own voice in a way, because you
I
take
think
like
so.
a little bit of all the people you really look up to and people you like, and then you mix it all together, and then you come up with yourself, but it takes a while.
Yeah, it does. I
Yeah.
think we do that like in life as well, not just in art, like we
No.
kind of
Yeah.
pretend to be like other people that we look up to, like some
Yeah.
people have older siblings that they've like tried to be like them for a long, long time when they were
Or
really young
friends.
and or
Yeah.
friends. And then
Yeah.
they get older and not for everyone, of course, but for a lot of people it changes a bit. You kind of find your own a little bit
Mm.
more,
Yeah.
like what you are in yourself
Yeah.
that is also similar to this other person but still different. I don't know, it's just it seems kind of the same.
Yeah, yeah, but it absolutely
Yeah.
is. You don't really know who. I mean, I feel like when I turned 30, that's when I sort of settled. I knew who I was going towards coming to
Mm,
30, but 30 was like, oh, okay, I think I get it
yeah.
now. And
Yeah.
then it was like the next years was just like sorting out all the crap that had lingered from my 20s. So just like, oh, I don't need that. I don't need that. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And I
That
feel like
sounds
that's the
nice.
same. Yeah, you're getting there. But I feel like it's the same with creative, like your creative journey. Probably when you write as well, like in the beginning, it looked like you just chugged wine.
Yeah, it's water. It's water. And it's actually not wine. This is elderberry
Oh,
soda,
okay,
people. It's
okay,
not a wine
okay.
bottle. But yeah. Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, back like when you were writing, did you feel yourself that you were copying others?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
I actually don't think I ever had that problem in writing. No. But I did when I started writing, when I was like 13, and I
yeah,
wrote all of those fantasy novels.
yeah, yeah.
Then of course that was like very different, then I was like kind of mixing in like all sorts of characters and things
Mm,
from other fantasy books that I've read,
yeah.
and kind of some of them were quite similar to some of the characters that I liked in other books, but it was never anything that I wanted to publish anyways.
Mm,
So it was more like just me having fun with that.
it's just for
um
you.
yeah. But I think I struggled a bit more with that with YouTube sometimes, because it's in a way with YouTube, like you can't go to any school, you
Mm,
can't do like the only thing you can do basically to learn is to kind of copy other people. And I've never tried to copy other people, but I still watch a lot of YouTube. So I think sometimes my brain is kind of like remembering things. And I think especially for like how do people do their intros, because there's so many things with like the analytics, how to catch someone's attention within the first 30 seconds, which is very
mm,
important on YouTube, because otherwise you lose the people. Those things can sometimes become a bit more like a copy thing, I feel
mm.
like. Because I look at how other people do it and I'm like, oh, that seems to work, like, because their channel is really good. And I still sometimes, I definitely go around and I look at different YouTubers and I research when I'm like creating a video about a specific topic.
Mm,
Like, for example, if I'm doing a video on interior, like when I'm renovating the house, I definitely look at other people who have like channels about that
mm,
to just see how they do it, because I want to learn from them. And then I think sometimes it can become more of a copy thing where
yeah.
you're not word to word copying them, but just like drawing inspiration from their style. They're good at it. They're experts at it because they have a channel about renovating, or they have a channel about makeovers. And I mean, that's where you should draw your inspiration in a sense.
Mm,
But maybe because there is no other places to learn, I think sometimes, yeah, people copy.
yeah.
And I can feel like I've become better at finding my own style in a way eventually.
Mm.
But at the same time, it's strange because I look at my videos from before and sometimes I think they're like, I don't know, sometimes I think I'm more similar to other people now than I was before, because before I wasn't as good at it.
Ah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was a bit more rusty with a lot of things, but now
Yeah.
it's more like smooth, and then it's sort of looks more similar to other people's videos.
I know what you
I don't
mean.
know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I know that it is a major problem on YouTube actually, that some people like almost to the word they copy other creators. Also the thumbnail and the title.
Really?
Yeah, so it's actually like really a problem on YouTube with like intense copying, like very, very obvious copying of other
Oh,
people's work.
wow.
And you can't really do anything about it because
No.
there's no rules for it, there's no copyright on like the style of the video and what you say in the video, like,
Mm.
so it's, yeah.
It's just like in the art community, it is that kind of thing that art theft is a common thing
Hmm.
as well. But I feel like in the art community, people know how to cross reference and they know how to do that reverse Google search and find the original source of the art.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it becomes that kind of public shaming kind of thing that like
Hmm.
people join in and just like don't follow this person, they copy art.
Oh
And
yeah.
that also feels a little bit bad sometimes, because I know that a lot of people, when they're first starting out, they copy others. It
Mm.
feels like the way it just is, because it's hard to learn without copying art. It's hard to like
Yeah.
know and just find the inspiration in yourself all
Hmm.
the time. So just like practicing your just like basic skill set with
Mm.
others' art is a very good way to learn. The problem is where when you post it and pass it on as your own, when you take the credit for the art and it's not yours, the motif is
Yeah.
not yours. That's when it gets shady, because you can't credit the
Yeah.
artist and then it's fine.
Yeah. I think also that it's sometimes a bit harsh on new
Yeah.
people that work with creative things, that it's so strict with like, yeah, like you say, like shaming people for just starting out and maybe trying to draw inspiration and copying others a little bit. I think, yeah, we should give them some slack in the beginning at
Yeah, that's
least.
the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes I have the problem with authenticity on YouTube, not just like the copying thing, but more like it's really, really hard not to be focusing on how this video is going to perform while you're editing
Mm.
it. So, for example, catching people's attention right at the beginning is not always what I would have wanted to do. Sometimes I would have wanted to like ease into it, a beautiful drone shot, like a little forest, maybe a trickling of the stream, and like
Mm.
some water and like some music, silence, no
Yeah.
speaking, no voiceover. But those intros do really badly. Like they
Mm.
always underperform, and you sometimes just have to get right into the topic of the
Yeah.
video. Voiceover right away. Good shots from the video right away. And usually,
Mm.
like a lot of YouTubers put the most interesting part of the video,
Mm.
they clip some small like parts of it, like maybe
Almost like a
something bad
trailer.
happens. Yeah, like a
Yeah.
trailer. Yeah. And that's in a sense like aesthetically so muddy, I feel like, because
Mm.
I'm very like aesthetic with my videos, and just
Yeah.
putting like that trailer in the beginning just feels so wrong. But at the same time, I usually have to try and find happy medium between
Yeah.
what YouTube wants and what I kind of would have wanted. And so the authenticity definitely is a problem sometimes with YouTube and how you have to create your videos. But I find that actually I was trying much harder to please the algorithm in the beginning,
Mm.
and the videos didn't really perform as well. And I can see now how I've tried so hard, to do it that way, and how bad it is. Like
Mm.
how crappy it turned out because I was trying so hard.
Mm.
So I actually have tried to like do the opposite now and just focus as much as I can, at least on what I want, because usually those videos do better. They
That's the
actually
thing.
do better because I am not so trying too hard, because you can actually sense that in a
You
video when
can.
people are trying too hard. I can see that also on new creators. When I look at their videos,
Yeah.
I can always sense that immediately, like, oh yeah, you're at that point, you're trying too hard. It's almost like when people are in real life when they're too desperate to make
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's the
And it
same
feels that
thing.
kind of pressure. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah, it's very like,
Ooh.
I need attention, like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and you can really see it. So it's you need to be a bit cool, like a bit chill, play a bit hard to
Absolutely.
get, and
Mm.
it's the same with the videos actually. If you're too intense, it's
Yeah. It's
people
too
aren't
much.
interested.
No, that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree. In the early days of the shop, I had sketches where it felt like, oh, I'm pushing it, because I painted this same motif as the Totoro with Briggen, but I did
Mm.
Briggen with a troll. And then when I was looking at the sketch, I was like, is this for me or is this for someone else?
Yeah.
And it is that thing that I still look at that artwork, and it's just like, I didn't put my heart into that one. It is
Mm.
apparent to me, and I also think like the ones that sell the best of my artworks are the ones I made like from my heart, from my passion, from my like, this is something I
Mm.
want to pour my soul into. Those are the ones that sell. When you're true to yourself as well, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel that like you're wasting your time in a way.
Mm. That's a very good answer also to the I feel like our answer to the question that Allison had
Mm.
is that yes, you should
Yes.
value your authenticity over sales.
Mm.
Also because it's probably going to drive more sales.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. In
yeah,
the
I
long
think
run,
so.
that's the thing that makes sense.
But at the same time, just to yeah, have that said as well, I think we both are aware of what sells and what's for me like what's performing on YouTube. It's definitely part of the process for
Mm.
me, but it's not what dictates what I do. It's more like I'm mindful of it.
Mm.
And I think it's the same for you. You have some things that you make that you know might sell because of other things that you have sold.
Mm. Yeah.
You're a businesswoman as well. You're not just artist. You have this business
Yeah.
mind as well.
I try.
Because
I
it's
try to.
yeah.
I need to.
Yeah.
I need to keep that in mind in a way. I need to like be a little bit business if I'm going to run an art shop. But yeah, I know what you
Yeah.
mean. Yeah.
Mm. How do you feel about authenticity online? Because we have another thing that we wanted to talk about, which is that Anna has been going kind of viral lately with her reels. So I feel like we need to drop into that a little bit because we have been talking
Ugh.
about reels ever since the beginning of this
Yeah, we
podcast.
have. And then suddenly it happened.
Yeah.
Ugh, it was so surreal. So I knew I wanted to do educational reels
Mm-hmm.
because the filming myself painting ruins my flow. And that's why my YouTube channel also dried out because I couldn't find a good balance between filming myself working and
Mm.
actually being in flow state. So it ruined my whole process to film like progress videos.
Yeah.
And so I knew that like I couldn't lean too much on that when making the reels because it would just ruin my flow state again. I knew already that that didn't work. So I wanted to do educational reels. And then I thought, okay, so I've been doing this for 7 years. I must have some wisdom from my 7 years of hard work and luck. So I wrote a
Yeah.
list of things I've learned over the past 7 years. And I thought, okay, I'm going to make a reel of it. So, like, 3 things I've learned in the past 7 years living off
Mm-hmm.
my art. And the first one didn't really do anything. I think it got like 4,000 views.
Yeah, it's nice too.
And it's not bad. It's not bad at
Mm.
all. But it was like the more like my
Normal.
average. Yeah.
Mm.
And then I did a part two because I thought it was fun to make. It was just like for me, I thought it was fun to make. I really like that. So even though like the first one didn't get a lot of attention, it felt like, okay, well, I think it's fun to do. So I did another one. And
Mm.
now it's at 210,000 views.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I'm
I would
kind of
call that like kind of viral. It's like
like
I think
a mini
mini
viral.
viral. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just like,
Yeah. And I mean it's still viral for you, you know.
that's the thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
From my numbers, it is pretty viral.
Mhm.
Um and I've made a part 3 and yesterday I posted a part 4.
I saw it. So nice.
Yeah. And my thing is, even though, like, I've tried to think that this way, that even though this one reel blew up a little bit, I know it's mostly a strike of luck because the algorithm is like that. They can pick something and then make
Yeah.
it super big and then nothing. So it feels, I try to like remind myself every time I checked my Instagram and saw the numbers go up and I'm like, this isn't really about what you made. It is
Mm.
something else. So keep that in mind when you post the next one because it's most likely not going to happen with the next one. This will be like a one time, or like it might happen again in the future, but it felt
Mm.
very much like this one peak and then
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
mellow out again. And so I managed to keep my cool.
Good.
But because I could have lost myself. I think like a few years ago, I would have gotten so tingly and euphoric and kind of like, it's happening. And then I would have
Yeah.
gotten so disappointed when everything went back to like 4 or 5,000 on the next reel.
Yeah.
But just keeping that, like, and I also got kind of happy with myself that it didn't make me happy. The views didn't really make me happy. And that's such a good thing for me, because then that's
Yeah.
not what I'm chasing. It's not the views, it's not the likes. I'm chasing this because I love doing it.
Yeah.
And having that focus that it's not the likes and views and all that anymore. Oh, I'm so relieved. So in a way, it felt
Yeah,
like a
that's good.
test. Something was testing me, like, are you
Yeah.
mentally in a better place now? And I feel like I
Hmm.
passed the test in a way.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's like universe is testing you here.
Yeah.
I just find it kind of interesting because I feel like our listeners have been following this journey from the beginning, because our
Mm.
first episodes were more like you were like, I kind of want to make reels, but I don't want to show my face because whenever I show my face, my followers just disappear. And then you're kind of like eased into it a little bit, and we talked about it, and you enjoyed
Yeah.
it, and then now there's this test again, like, because we have talked a lot about social media and how it was for
Yeah.
you before as well. So it's a good test, definitely, that
Yeah.
you're evolved now.
Yeah, but it feels
Yes.
like that. And it feels like this can
Yeah.
be fun again, even though I still have my strict rules about social media where I'm not on Instagram before 12, before noon. You wrote
Yeah.
me like, "Oh, you're on like 80,000 views now." I'm like, "I haven't checked. It's not noon yet. I can't check it
Yeah.
yet."
Yeah. So I had to check it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe I think there's one part of this that I think is you have evolved and you're more confident and stuff, like you say, but maybe there's actually a lot of it that has to do with those rules,
Mm,
because your brain isn't allowed to get too into it when
yeah.
you actually stop yourself from being on Instagram
Mm,
at certain points of the day, so you're not like making your brain addicted to it all the time. So I
mm,
think even if you have this determination to not let it affect you, it can still do that if you're just constantly looking at it.
mm.
But do you not feel at all excited though?
I got excited, but I didn't feel happiness. Like it didn't feel like it
Mm,
was that didn't give me confidence, or it didn't like, oh, what's the word I'm looking for?
didn't
Like I
change
knew,
anything?
yeah, it didn't change anything. That's the thing. It was kind of like, ooh, I wonder how many people have seen it now. But it didn't like, it didn't give me a boost
Yeah.
in my own confidence, or in my own like self-worth kind of feeling. It felt like I knew very much, like I could keep my head sane and know what was going on, and that it didn't like give me more value, you know?
Yeah.
Everything was the
That's
same. It was just like a little bit of like something, like a little bit of confetti from the corner of a
mm,
room, but
yeah, yeah,
everything
yeah.
was the same in a way. The room was still the same, but it was just like boom.
Yeah, I recognize that feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, the first time it started like taking off a little bit, I had like maybe 1,000 views, maybe 3,000 views at most at some of my videos. And I mean, it is a bit different since I actually try to make a living from YouTube. For me, it was like very serious. Like, I
Yeah.
need to get more views if this is gonna be a living.
Mm.
So, and also the videos are like half an hour long, so they take shit ton of work to make.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in a sense, it's definitely something that makes me more happy, and I feel relief when things go well, because then I
Mm.
feel like I can actually do this. I think it's maybe more similar to when you earn a lot of money at your shop and you
Mm.
feel this relief that
Mm.
it's actually going in the right direction. I might actually be able to live from this.
Yeah.
So that is the happiness that I feel when my videos are taking off. But the first time I felt also Like I was super obsessed with it. Like
Yeah.
when my kitchen renovation video took off, I was like, what? Because it's like this had never, my analytics had never looked like that before, like
Mm.
ever. This spike and like suddenly so many people coming into the channel, and it definitely took me over quite a bit.
Mm.
But at the same time, it was just a video about the kitchen renovation, so in a way, I didn't feel as connected to it in a way
Mm.
because like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was fun that people were watching it, but it wasn't like one of my dearest videos, my like heartfelt project. It was more like a
Yeah.
fun project that I made.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the next video that took off was the house tour. That is the most viewed video I have on my channel, the tour of the house, where I like
Mm.
share what I've done with the house. And when that video took off, I was kind of prepared for it taking off. I was like,
Yeah.
it's gonna take off. I had this feeling like this is gonna work
Mm.
because I just felt like the thumbnail was good, and I knew that the kitchen video had been doing really well, and
Mm.
this was kind of similar. So when it took off, it was almost like I felt kind of good about it because I had known in a way.
Mm.
And it's always good when you feel like something is going to go well and it's
Mm.
going well, because then you know that you're starting to figure it out with the algorithm and everything. Yeah, but it was less, I think it was less of a thing. And now with the Finnmark video, the travel to
Mm.
Finnmark video, my latest video, it's also been taking off. This time I feel very happy that this one is taking off. It's
Mm.
definitely making me happy. But it's not taking me over in
Mm.
the same way that some of the other videos have. Maybe there's just something about like going mini viral that you get used to in a way.
Mm.
So the first time for me, it was like super intense. And then now
Mm.
I'm more like, oh, I see that this is happening now. And I'm like really, really glad that it happens. But it's not something that I'm like constantly obsessing about. And
Yeah.
I'm just basically very happy that this video is doing well because I worked so hard on it. And it's a video that I'm really proud of. And it's a video that better represents my channel than
That's the
the
thing. It's more
house
about
videos.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's more the type of content that I want to make.
Yeah.
Of course, I love making the house renovation content, but I'm finished with the renovation, so I don't have anything more.
Yeah.
So it's really good that I can make something else now, and it's actually doing well.
Mm.
So yeah, for me, it's definitely sparking a lot of happiness and
But I get
contentment.
that. I
Because
get
yeah,
that because it is your work. If I had
it is.
gotten 200,000 likes on a painting, I
Mm-hmm.
would be ecstatic. I would be so happy. Your videos are your art. It is your
Yeah.
storytelling. It is you have so much you put so much thought and heart
Mm,
into your work that
yeah.
of course like when that gets recognized, it's so like fulfilling in a way. It feels like, oh,
Yeah.
they see what I'm doing. And
It is.
I feel like it would be different if it had been an artwork for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. But it's probably going to drive some sales and some more people to your Instagram, which is really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. I think I've gotten 5,000 new followers in a week. So it feels like it is active followers, which is
Yeah.
good because whenever there's like, yeah, the numbers don't really portray how active or like how dedicated your followers are.
Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, I have a good feeling about it.
Oh,
Hmm.
thank you.
It feels kind of authentic, the content that you're making. So it feels
Oh,
like it feels like something that you actually are passionate about. I mean, we have this
yeah.
podcast because we want to share
Talk
what we've
more.
learned.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you like sharing about what you've learned from your work, and
Mm.
that's what you're doing on Instagram. And as long as that's authentic, I think the people that follow you from that are gonna, yeah, be kind of dedicated to your profile. But have the virality
Ooh.
made, like, are there more like mean comments on your
Oh,
profile these
the
days?
the funny. That's funny, because I told Leo, my partner, that the reel had gotten to the point, like in views, that I noticed the trolls coming in. I know it's like people that usually leave those kinds of comments don't really, they're not that happy in their life. So I try to like
Yeah.
focus on that. Okay, I know this is not about me. It's most likely something they struggle with in their life. But most of the comments were like, of the negative comments were about the fact that the reel was so quick. It is
Oh
a very like
yeah.
snappy kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then it's
That
like,
annoyed
oh,
them.
yeah. It's like, oh, I can't read this. And then it got to the point where other people came to my defense in the comment field, like in the comment section. Just like they said, like, you can press the screen and pause it. And then the other is like, oh, but that's not the way I want to watch reels. And then another person said like, oh, but she has a description in like her captions, so you can read what she's talking about in like
Yeah.
the
Make an
description.
effort.
Yeah. And I think like one person said something about like this is inaccessible and like it's discriminatory against people that can't that has like
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah. Yeah, well,
For
I
some
agree
reason, it's
though.
not shocking at all.
Oh, I know. I agree though. It was really quick. So now,
Yeah.
like, I know that that's also something like you said about YouTube videos that you're supposed to like catch someone's attention in the beginning of a video, and you're
Yeah.
supposed to do that thing because that's
Hmm.
what YouTube likes, and then you get recommended.
Yeah.
It's the same with reels. They say
Yeah.
like 5 seconds is the perfect like time limit for a reel, and that's when you get the most like views because people's attention span, if it's more than 5 seconds, they will just scroll past it.
I was almost thinking also when I watched it and the specific one that like took off that
Mm,
it's so quick that I can't read it either.
mm,
But I was thinking maybe that's why it took off because people
mm. Have to
are
rewatch
watching it.
it.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
to rewatch it, and
And that
that's
was
not
not
your
that
fault.
was not a conscious thing in my head that I
No.
wanted it to be like, oh, it will replay 50 times because people can't read it. That was never in my
Yeah.
head at all. But now of course I see that too, that might have been one of the reasons it took off. So like the
Yeah.
later ones, not the one immediately after, it was kind of hard to find a audio that would work with the text.
Yeah.
So that one is kind of snappy as well. But the newest one, I try to make sure that okay, I'm going to have enough time so that people can read it without like getting all. I need
Yeah.
to like watch this 10 times to read one word. So
Yeah.
I've been trying to like make it slower, but that's also a thing that like a lot of people probably rely on people rewatching the reels to get the numbers up,
Yeah. And
and
that's like a
I don't want
choice.
to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to
Yeah.
be
But
a part.
then
Yeah,
we're going back to the theme. You're sticking with
that's the
authenticity.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good, Anna.
yeah. So I'm trying now to
Yeah.
find like a good balance between like the shorter videos, but you're supposed to be able to read what it says.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. I think, yeah, I think it would have been maybe it would have worked to do the same again and just have it so fast that people can't read it. But again, do you want that type of
No,
content to be your platform?
no.
I like if that becomes your trademark in a way.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's maybe a bit strange again. I'm getting a lot of comments about my nose ring.
But it's so funny. When I was on YouTube too, they kept on talking about my septum piercing.
Yeah,
It's
what
like,
is it
what's that
about
in your
that?
nose? Yeah.
Yeah, and there was I think I've had many comments being like, good video, but I cannot take you seriously with that stupid nose ring in your nose, and then like exclamation mark. I'm like, yeah, okay.
It's 2023. It's 2023. Come on, people.
Yeah, people have piercings now. Like, get
Yeah.
used to it. Sorry. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, and I think also I think yesterday I found a comment about yeah, there was an old video of mine that someone had like ended up on, and it was like, yeah, this video would have been so much better without the boring likes and kindas. And I was like,
What?
Yeah, maybe I say like and kinda a little bit too much in the video, but I'm Norwegian. Can you just give me a
Give
break?
me a break.
Yeah, and I actually wrote back. I was like, yeah, I kind of agree with you, but it's not English is not my main language, so
Mm,
it won't be perfect, and it's not gonna
mm,
become perfect either.
mm.
Just gotta deal with that.
You write like, talk to me in Norwegian, bitch.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I'm gonna do that next time. It's a good one.
Say that in Norwegian.
Yeah, yeah. Write this in Norwegian, and then we can
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
people are getting so much free content from
Mm.
like people like us and all these other creators, and still they find it so necessary to write a comment like that. It's
Yeah.
just crazy. Like I feel people are so spoiled.
Yeah,
Like
but it's
honestly, it's so spoiled.
insecurity as well. They're not happy in their own life, and then they
Yeah.
need an outlet somewhere.
Yeah.
It is sad in a way.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
there's a big difference between valid criticism and
Yeah.
just these strange,
Mm.
strange comments like that.
Mm.
Yeah, because I have had some valid criticism as well, and then usually I just try to respond to it as like, "Thank you for this," and I agree, like that's
Mm.
true, but yeah, and then maybe I explain, and then I leave it at that.
Yeah.
But with just mean, I just delete them. I'm just
Mm.
deleting everything that is mean.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just as
I
well.
don't. Yeah, it's mean. It's my house. Like my platform is my house, and I will delete
Yeah.
anything that I
Yeah.
don't approve of. Honestly, like people cannot come into my house and just talk shit about my nose ring.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I support that completely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You decide what stays.
yeah.
Mm.
But I'm starting to understand why a lot of creators have people that answer comments for them, because I can imagine if you get like a lot of comments all day and you have to like expose yourself to that constant like
Mm.
emotion from all of these other people, and then sometimes the aggression from people. I think it's probably gonna be very draining in the end. So
Yeah,
it's
I
nice to
think
have
so
someone
too.
else that works just like filtering out the aggressive stuff and just deleting
Yeah.
it before you even have to see it, and then just you can answer some of the more nice
Yeah.
ones, or
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
like valid criticism you can answer.
Mm.
But we have to start wrapping up this podcast,
Mm.
and maybe our listeners are still waiting at the edge of their seats now to hear what's going to happen with this podcast. Because
Yes.
if you have been following us on YouTube, you might have seen that we have posted a bit about like being a bit confused about what to do with the podcast.
Mm.
Um, we don't have to go into like the many reasons for it, but basically it's just been very busy this summer.
Mm.
So we both felt like it was a bit too much.
Yeah.
And then for me, it's been the editing of the podcast that has been taking a toll, since I'm also editing my videos. So we figured out that we just needed to take a break this summer and just think about it a bit. So just see if we think it's even sustainable to
Mm.
keep podcasting. We want it to be something fun. We want it to be something inspiring,
Yeah.
not something that is like draining.
Mm.
But what have we figured out, Anna? Maybe you want to tell them.
Yeah, I think we've settled on a kind of seasonal podcast.
Mhm.
We talked about like how many episodes in a season, and I think we both like the number 7. So
Mhm.
like right now we have 7 episodes out, and so the plan is to try to get like in the next season we'll have 7 episodes, and then it might be a little bit of a break in between, and then
Yeah.
we have to just like try to find the time and try to find a good balance between
Yeah.
both of us, because in summer I'm super busy with the shop, and like during the year during the school year you're super
Mm.
busy just like
With touring.
touring around the country, so we have to
Mhm.
find a time that works for both of us and just like work
Yeah.
together to make this happen, because we still
Mhm.
really want to do this. It still makes me so happy to do this with you,
Yeah.
and I
Same.
learn so much, you know.
Yeah, me too. So
Yeah.
much. I also find myself being better at talking in my videos as well after we started this podcast, because there is something about just feeling more relaxed about it. So it's definitely helped also with other things.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say also to our listeners that I felt kind of like I wanted to quit the podcast, not because I didn't have fun recording the episodes, but just because I was like feeling so tired of just sharing things constantly, and the editing was just taking a toll on me. But then I kind of felt like when people commented and we started receiving a lot of comments about people enjoying the podcast, and people were also so understanding when we wrote that it's like we needed a break, and everyone was just like, oh yeah, just come back whenever you want, and like we'll be here. Then
You
I
guys
just
are
felt
super
like,
sweet.
oh yeah, it really motivated me to try and at least try and make another season, and like keep going and see if we can figure it out. Yeah. So, and also of course it's really nice to have a friend like you to work with. So
Oh,
just
likewise.
felt good talking with you about it, and yeah, it helps that we're two people trying to make this work.
Yeah.
Mm.
And we will try to find a way to make it work and try to like share the load a little bit more, and
Yeah.
then like take the breaks that we need, because that's the most important thing. Because when this becomes a draining thing, the people that listen, the people that actually care for us, they will notice it, and then it's not enjoyable for them either. So this is like
Yeah.
we need to find the balance in all of
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
I think we will find the balance now. I think it's a good idea to have a seasonal podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're hoping to make the other season and like put it out somewhere during like the winter of 2024, I guess.
Yeah.
But we cannot promise anything, but that's what we're gonna try to aim for, I guess.
Yeah,
So
because
we
you're
think
busy
that,
with touring like the next couple of months.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a bit of that, and then we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
And we think winter and stuff is a good time for podcasts.
Yeah,
So
I listen to podcasts a lot during winter. That's like when I'm at
me
home
too.
in my cozy mood. It's just like, yeah.
Summers aren't really the best time for that.
Oh, it's not.
So yeah. And also, why did we even do this in the summer? It was kind of funny because it's like you were so busy.
I was so busy. I think it was just like the excitement of everything that was happening, because before the season started, I was just like already excited about how is this summer going to feel like.
Yeah.
And then everything else I just like was yes, give me more, because I was so energetic, I was so hyped. And now it's just like, whew. Yeah.
Yeah, we were in the
could have timed it better. Yes, we were. Yeah.
But it was good because it was nice. I mean, it was so fun.
Yeah. I agree.
Until we see you guys again.
Yes.
I guess we just want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for showing up at this podcast, even though we struggled with all sorts of things. And thank you for being here. Basically, it's been really nice.
Thank you also for your support and for your kind words and everything.
Yeah. So until the next season comes out, bye everyone.
Bye.